Hello, and welcome to Live from the Pink Couch Season 3. Can you believe that we are already in Season 3 of helping professionals get to their next level of a fabulosity at work? The way Season 3 is going to work is this year we're going to have 4 individuals who are at varying points of their career who are seeking either a new job or a new way of thinking about work or getting back into the workforce. And we are going to coach them live on camera every other Thursday for the next few weeks. Now, here's what you need to know about this. First of all, if you have any questions that come up or pop up in your mind, if you're watching this live, ask the questions in the chat box or the comment box. Post your questions there because I'll be taking questions live as well. But the point of me doing this live is I recognize that we all need help from time to time when it comes to our professional lives. And sometimes we're just not sure what to do or who can help us. I will be bringing in guest coaches. I will be bringing in experts who can help our 4 lovely hashtag next level tribe of participants get to that level where they feel comfortable and that they have accomplished their goal. Now, let me tell you about goals. I am hellish on goals, particularly what I call SMART goals. And I help all of our participants set their SMART goals for their very, very specific desire that they want to achieve. Keeping that in mind, I call these big, audacious, lean into your faith goals, pink elephants. So a pink elephant is a huge, audacious goal that you have the right to dream about and to want to work toward, and you need to ask people for help. So many people think that you can just go around and you become this fabulous person with no help from the outside world. And that's just not true. We all need little help from time to time from our friends and from experts. And so that's why I'm going to be bringing in experts from the outside to help our 4 candidates tonight. All right. So those are the pink elephant goals. Each person is going to identify. We're going to work through it tonight. Don't worry, ladies, it's not going to hurt. We're going to work through it tonight, and we're going to help establish the pink goals that they're all striving for. And once they establish their pink goals and achieve them, they get booted off of the pink couch. Now, this is the only tribe that it's a good thing to be booted off of the couch. Okay, let's start with the newbie. We have Alex here, and Alex, tell us about yourself and what it is you hope to achieve being here live on the pink couch.
Okay, well, I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. Leaving Rockford, I went to Purdue University for college. Growing up, I did 9 years of 4-H showing sheep, so that's something that's like kind of unique. Not a lot of people do that. Let's see, I graduated from Purdue with a degree in animal sciences, and I'm kind of just looking to start my career. I haven't really been in the workforce for a while, so I'm just trying to get a job and start my career.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to come back to you after we've had everyone introduce themselves, Alex, so that we can find out a little bit more about where in the workforce you want to enter. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for sharing your story. Next, we're going to have Tiffany, the rising star. So let me explain. The newbie is right out of college, never had their first job yet, and is looking to get their very first gig right out of college. The rising star has been working for a while at the same company and is looking to advance. Wants that promotion. Anybody out there looking for a promotion? That's the rising star. So Tiffany, you're a rising star. Tell us about yourself.
am Tiffany. Thank you for having me. I have been with the same company for about 3 years. I'm an HR professional, and I also specialize in operations and diversity. And I am looking to take my career to the next level. I've learned the company, I understand the culture, and now it's time to kick it up a notch.
All right, Tiffany, we understand the assignment. You want a promotion. Okay. Now, do we want to raise with that promotion, or do we just want the promotion?
All right. We want to raise, and I know that we're going to work together to figure out that number, and I'm excited.
Okay. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. Next, we have Lynn, the hopeful. Now, the hopeful is someone who has been displaced or quit their job or lost their job as a result of COVID or flat out fired. Whatever the case, we all find ourselves at some point in our career, perhaps displaced. And so we're calling Lynn our hopeful. And Lynn, tell us about what it is that you're hopeful about getting.
I'm Lynn, and I have worked in the government sector, which most people think is pretty stable, but let me tell you, it's not. And so I'm looking to change sectors because I have been displaced and no longer have a job. And I am looking to transition to what I consider to be a more stable career area. A lot of experience in human resources, have been doing that for 14 years. So I'm looking in healthcare, maybe the new cannabis sector, because that seems to be growing nationally. And I think that would be an interesting area to transition to with all of my regulatory experience, or possibly something in a green energy, maybe the electric vehicles, something like that. So I've kind of identified those. I've been C-suite level, so I'm targeting high level, and that means I want money. That's right, Cheryl. I want to make the money. So since I've been in the government sector, I'm tired of being paid the government wages. It's time to get paid what I'm worth.
All right. So show me the money. That's what Lynn is saying. And with good reason. You've earned your stripes. You are deserving of a salary that shows the worth and the years of experience that you've brought to the government sector. So let's see if we can get you something in another sector and give you the salary that you deserve. Thank you, Lynn. And last but certainly not least, we have our Career 2.0 star, Kristin. And Kristin is in the process of changing roles. So Career 2.0 means that we're looking at someone who wants to move from either what they've always done to something totally new, or they want to move across to a different industry, but it's all about change with Career 2.0. So Kristin, tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome.
Thank you, Cheryl, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. Again, my name is Kristin. I have been working for the past 14 years as a professional makeup artist. I work primarily doing commercials, a lot of celebrity work, press tours, television, and some corporate work. I've been blessed with an amazing career, but I am just looking for a change. Specifically, I'm looking to transition into a career in photography, particularly branding photography.
Now, what's branding photography?
So branding photography, so like personal branding photography, personal branding, I should say, working with entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, to help them show up and stand out online.
All right. Okay, great. All right. Well, welcome, Kristin. We're glad to have you here. We're going to help you get that Career 2.0 in photography launched and off the ground. Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody understands the assignment. You know that song, I Understood the Assignment. I want to make sure you understand the assignment. The assignment is we're going to help shape and craft your pink elephant goal. And then we're going to give you homework assignments every session so that you go off on the weeks when we're not meeting, and you conquer those homework assignments. And all of them are designed specifically for you to help you get to that next milestone, so that when you come back, we know that you're moving. We know that you are making progress toward your goal. Are we clear about that? Is everybody okay about that? All right.
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to start with you, the hopeful. Lynn, what do you want to wake up to, let's say a year from now, if you close your eyes and just imagine what you would have as it relates to professional? If you imagine what kind of professional role you would see yourself in, without any limitations, without any negative self-talk, without any, well, I would love to this, but, or I would love to do that, but, like, we don't want any buts. There are no buts getting in the way here, okay? No big buts, no little buts. We just don't want buts at all. What would you, if you woke up a year from now, where would you want to be? What would you want with your life? And be as specific as possible.
Vice President for Compensation and Benefits.
Look at that. Okay. I'm going to give it my little clap, okay. Vice President of
Compensation and Benefits.
Compensation and Benefits. All right. So this is excellent. When I talk about your pink elephants, I'm talking about your SMART goal. And SMART goals are very specific. They're measurable. They're actionable, which means that there are actually things that you can do to accomplish your SMART goal. They are relative or relatable. That means there's a little bit of passion that you have for it. Here's a secret about why so many people do not achieve their goals. This is what I call Cheryl's pink couch tip. And I'm going to be throwing these little nuggets at you from the couch, from the pink couch, throughout the series. But Cheryl's pink couch tip is, if you want to achieve a goal, make sure it's big. Make sure that you have a passion for the goal, and that you're leaning into it. Because if it's just, if you're just kind of mediocre about it, chances are you're not going to achieve it. All right. So Lynn, we're very specific. We're going after a VP role, a VP of Compensation and Benefits.
I would like to have that role in one of the new cannabis companies. I think that is one of the largest growing sectors in the US. And I think eventually the federal government is going to overturn their ban on it, and it's going to become legal, and it's going to take off, and they're going to need experienced professionals at all levels.
All right, a cannabis company. Girl, you are out there dreaming. I ain't mad at you. Okay, this is great. So we want a VP role as an HR compensation and benefits person at a cannabis company. And how much are we making?
$200,000.
We're making $200,000. Okay. All right. So the reason I ask you to be specific is because if you're looking for a VP role, that means when we get your resume all dialed up and gussied up and ready to go out, and you start applying for roles, you're not applying for a manager, director, or, coordinator's job. You need to be applying for VP roles. Now that sounds like common sense. But I've worked with a lot of people who say they want to be a director or they want to be a VP, and then they apply for managerial roles. And I'm like, well, why'd you apply for a manager's job? Well, because I think I have the qualifications to get it. Yes, but you're trying to get up the ladder, not go back down. So Lynn, we're going to make sure that you're only applying for VP roles. Okay?
Okay.
So you want to make $200,000, a VP of a cannabis company, HR, compensation and benefits. Is there any geographical region that you're looking at? Because that also will impact the salary. You can expect larger salaries in larger cities and sometimes not as much in smaller or mid-sized cities. So where are we going to be having this dream job? Where are you going to be living?
The Pacific Northwest or the Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina area.
Okay, so that's like the Pacific Northwest or the South?
I want a coastal area because I want
Coastal.
to be near the water.
Okay, so in a coastal area. Got it. I love this goal already because she is specific. But there's enough flexibility that it's not like so narrowly focused that she puts herself in a box. All right. So I want you to write that down. We'll also send it to you if you didn't bring a pad, a pen,
I
and
already
paper.
got it on the wall.
Okay, you got it on the wall. All right, fabulous. So we're going to come back to you and your goal, but while we're gone, one of the things I want you to start thinking about is identifying at least, at a minimum, 10 companies that fit that description. So where are the cannabis companies in the regions that you've described? Are they there, first of all, right? And let's try to identify which ones they are. Now, I just need you to start thinking about that right now. You may not know them off the top of your head, and that's probably going to be one of the homework assignments that you're going to have, is to go out and identify 10. And if you're pushing it, I would really like to see you do 20, but we'll stick with 10 as a minimum. Extra credit, you bring me back 20. Because it is a booming industry right now. And yes, they're going to need professionals like you who have experience, who can bring this to life.
Okay.
Very good. Great job, Lynn. The hopeful, looking to get a job. Okay. And then we're going to start with Alex, our newbie. Don't we all remember when we had to first get our very, very first job? Alex, let me tell you, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. If I could not repeat another part of my life, it would be getting that first job right out of college. Sorry, not trying to burst your bubble or anything, but the beauty is every single person has to go through getting that very, very first job. So talk to me about what your dream would be if you woke up a year from now and you jumped out of bed. And mind you, people, I always want you going after jobs that are going to have you jumping out of bed in excitement about going to work. I don't care if you're jumping out of bed and you're excited about treading over to your computer with your PJs on to work, or if you have to get suited and booted up and head out to a job outside of your home. The common denominator is that you're excited. So Alex, what would excite you if you didn't have to worry about anything? What kind of job would excite you?
Yeah, so I think a job that I could work with animals and hang out with them and like help them. So like something in the veterinary field would probably be the best use of my talents.
So someplace, a job that allows you to hang out with animals. That sounds like a fun job. Do you want to be a veterinarian or just in that space?
As far as right now, I think just in that space. I think I want to get some experience like in the environment first before I decide to like go back to school to become a veterinarian, because it does take some time to do.
Okay, great. And how often have you been to visit a veterinarian?
Not very often.
Okay. So what I am going to assign you to do is, you have pets?
Yes.
Is make an appointment for a pet, one of your pets, take them to the vet and chat up the people in the vet's office.
Okay.
Like, who's there? What kind of roles? And you can research this as well online. I think also like PetSmart, where they take your pets in now, and I think they do more than just groom them, but it gives you a chance to also be around animals. I want you to explore what types of jobs actually come with these veterinarian kind of roles. Okay, that's the first homework assignment for you. Do you understand the assignment?
I do understand the assignment.
Okay. Now, so that's going to also cause you to do like Lynn is doing, and everybody ultimately is going to do the same thing, with maybe the exception of Kristin. We're going to put a little spin on her, but identify 10 types of veterinarians or animal established businesses, like businesses that are targeting the animal market. Well, targeting people with animals is huge. It's a huge industry. And there are all kinds of positions and roles that come into play when people love pets. And so you don't necessarily have to be in a vet's office. What I want you to do is to explore this upcoming week places that you could go and look for work around animals. But we're going to start with the veterinarian.
Okay.
Okay. How much money do you think you would be making?
I am not sure. I'm down to make like almost any amount of money because I'm not making any right now. So
Yeah. So, all right. I gave a speech once, a commencement address at a college graduation. And I thought the parents were going to boo me off the stage when I made this comment. Don't go after the first job. Don't grab it just because of the money. Because a year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to be miserable and right back where you started from looking for a job. And you can avoid that by being a little bit more specific about what it is that you think you want to make. And that way you're not just grabbing any job, because any job could be a sales job, any job could be, and that's why parents wanted to like kick me off the stage, was because they were like, no, I need her off my couch. I need him out of my basement. I need him not to be playing video games all day and out there in the workforce. So don't tell them to only go after jobs that they love. But I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that, yes, I know you need to make money, but if you're doing what you love, if you find and identify places that give you the satisfaction of being around animals, Alex, and that passion that you have for animals comes through, somebody's going to see that and want to hire you for that. So I don't know what the salary is for folks who work in the veterinarian industry. In order for us to finish your SMART goal, you're going to also need, you got 2 assignments. You're also going to need to research the starting salaries in the vet industry if you don't have a veterinarian degree. So that's like working for a zoo, working for a pet store or a pet shop, working, I don't know, where else do animals, tell me, Alex, where else are there animal related jobs?
I don't know, like an aquarium.
An aquarium, so museums, an aquarium. And some of those roles, like the aquariums, I think, and we can double check this, but some of those roles are, if you do enough research, they should be public information. So research jobs at aquariums. Go on Indeed and look at any jobs for aquariums or zoos or anything, and not just necessarily because you're in the Chicago market, right?
Right.
So while we're doing the research, don't limit your research to what the salaries are just in Chicago, but expand that a little bit so you can look and see like what those salary ranges look like, what the entry level ranges are. Explore that. Have you had a chance to do any of that yet?
No.
Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to make you Explorer Dora, where you're literally going to go and find, you're going to go out and you're going to find what kind of jobs are in existence for entry level working around animals. That sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, so we've got 2 left. Let me see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm gonna go with Tiffany, the rising star. Tiffany,
Yes.
you've been with this company how long?
I've been with them for 3 years. It's a luxury retail brand, and I'm looking to expand my responsibilities. I'm looking for a manager or director position, and I'm looking for a significant salary increase.
All right. So what's significant? How much do we want you to make?
I want to make at least 125,000.
125,000. How long you been working? Overall, not just the last 3
Overall,
years.
15 years.
15 years. Okay. So that's not unheard of. Okay. And what title do you want to have for this promotion?
I definitely would like to be either a manager or a director level. And I only say either because I want to work in the space of diversity. And for some organizations, that's a relatively new space. So not all organizations have every level in diversity and inclusion.
Okay, but I'm going to make you pick one,
Mm,
especially at 120.
a manager.
Okay, so
New
you're going to
York.
go, a
New York
manager in
City.
New York will give you 120.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your title now?
Right now, my title is operations specialist.
Specialist. Okay, so you're going to move from a specialist to a manager's role
Yes.
at 120 at a luxury brand. And do you want to stay with the company and move up there?
I'm open to changing companies, but I want to be in specific industries. So I either want to be in luxury or in alcohol and spirits.
Okay, you just like a fun life. All right. Okay. Alcohol experience. What is it? Alcohol what?
Alcohol and spirits.
Alcohol and spirits
Mhm.
or a luxury brand. All
Yes.
right. So again, I want you to start with a list. Your current employer needs to be at the top of that list.
Okay.
But I need you to make a list of 10 to 20. Again, 10 is the baseline, 20 is even better. And if I were you, I would split them in half. 10 luxury brands and 10 spirits,
Okay.
alcohol and spirits,
Okay.
right? And then you want to look to see who actually has a diversity department. So it means you're going to be you're going to make a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, a Word doc, a Google doc, whatever. You're going to make a document and you're going to list the companies, and then you're going to go into their About Us section on their website, and you're going to see if they have a diversity division.
Okay.
That's the first thing you want to do, is to determine whether or not it exists. Now, you can start something from scratch somewhere else, but that's not what your goal is right now. Your goal is to get into a company that has an existing diversity effort. All right. 120,000 manager level. You said New York?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you understand the assignment?
I understand the assignment.
All right, great. Chris, we didn't forget about you.
Hey.
All right. You wanna help brand people
I
with
do.
photography.
I do.
Who do you know that does that and does it well?
Locally or just in general?
In general, locally, whatever.
There's quite a few photographers who I aspire to be like in terms of aesthetic and just overall, I guess, success levels. I don't know them personally, but I am aware of them.
Do you have, you know their names?
Yes.
Do you follow them?
Yes, I stalk them. I follow them. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Have you DM'd any of them?
One I have to see if she was offering any kind of like one-on-one mentorship type situation. She was at one point but I think she had tabled that, with COVID and everything. So she said just to kind of stay in touch, and then she, would be able to inform me once she looking to roll that back out.
How long ago was that?
That was probably about a year ago, I'd have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's time to reach out to her again, you think?
It is. Yes.
I'd like you to find 10 people who are doing what you want to do.
Okay.
And reach out to them on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, wherever they are. And just ask for a 15-minute conversation that will allow you to ask them a few questions about how they got to where they got to, and to offer you any advice on how you can segue into that business.
Okay.
Here's why I call this a pink elephant moment, you all. People like to help you. People like helping others. And the people who aren't people we would necessarily want to work with anyway. So we don't take a no or a silence as defeat or rejection. We accept it as, okay, so they're not in the space right now to help me. I received that. Let me keep moving on. And that's why I want you all to make lists that are longer than you feel comfortable making. Because when you make a longer list, you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. It's like dating, because I teach dating classes too. When you're just waiting on one man to call you, your nerves get all like caught up in the game, as they say, and it is frustrating and you're biting your nails because he hasn't called you. Whereas if you are juggling a couple of guys, then, if one hasn't called you, you got something else going on to keep your attention off of the one you really like. So I want you, Chris, to identify at least 10 to 20 folks who are already doing what you're doing.
Okay.
And when you say you stalk them, we're not going to use the S word, but we want you to really, really, really pay close attention to everything that they do and comment on everything.
Okay.
On every post. So put those notifications on your phone so that whenever they post something, you'll know that they posted. I could not figure out for the longest time how my husband knew every single time I posted something on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And then one day I was sitting there next to him and I posted something and I heard his phone go ding. I was like, you have your notifications on. So put your notifications on whenever they post something so you can respond immediately, because I guarantee you people are checking to see who's been responsive the quickest, the fastest. And if you're continuing to pop up in their comments, they're going to take notice of you. Okay. How much money do you want to make doing this?
In my first year, I think that 60,000 would be a reasonable goal.
Okay, $60,000. Mm-hmm. And have you researched any rates?
Oh, yes.
That you know what rates photographers charge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So what we want you to do is we want you to pseudo stalk via social media the folks who are doing what you want to do in photography and making a name for themselves. And we want you to have that list. And we want you to also then identify if you know how many clients it may take to make 60,000, right? So what's the average amount of spend that I would have to spend with you if you're going to get to 60,000 in a year? So 60,000, where's my Medea calculator? 60,000, got my Medea calculator right here. So 60,000 divided by 12 months is $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're making $5,000 a month, what's the average amount that you charge for the type of photography that you want to do?
It totally varies, but packages typically start at 800.
Okay, so 800. So 5,000 divided by 800 means that you have to get at least 6.25 clients a month at that rate.
Mm-hmm.
So either you go after 6 clients every single month at that rate, or you increase your rate and go after bigger packages.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you only need 1 client a month at 5,000 or 2 clients a month at 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing your research and finding out how much people are charging, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get a sense, if you get a chance to talk to these individuals, you get a chance to ask them, what's the average spend? And I've got a couple of photographers that I could point you in the direction of too. But what we want you to do this week is to do your research on people who are making it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, y'all, is to find somebody who's already doing what you want to do. And I encourage people to do that for 2 reasons. When you find someone who's already doing what you want to do, you know it's possible. It's like this ain't impossible. That person is already doing it. If they can, I can. Let me hear everybody say that. If they can, I can.
If they can,
I can.
That's right. And sometimes just look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say that. If they can, I can. Okay. So I've been talking a lot. I'm going to stop talking. And I want you to ask me your questions, and I want you to tell me what scares you most about this journey that you're on.
I think what scares me the most is there's not enough companies yet that are large enough in the field that I've picked that they have that level at that pay level. So I might need to also include some of the other sectors like the electric vehicles and things like that in the list of companies that I want to look at.
I love that you have identified what a possible obstacle could be. Great. And even greater is that you've identified a way to work around it. You've identified a backup plan. That is the way I want you all to go after these goals, because, you know, sometimes goals can zigzag. They don't necessarily go in a straight linear path the way you want them to. So Lynn, when you're making up your list, make sure you include some of those other types of companies on your list.
Okay.
But that's a valid concern. Very good. Who else? What has you afraid about the process and the journey that you're about to get on, or that you're already on?
I can say that my biggest obstacle is myself. There's definitely a significant amount of fear there, dealing with just imposter syndrome. And I've just always been, just really hard on myself. So just, I guess, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough by my standards. So yeah, I need to get out of my own way.
Okay. Fear is so real. All of us get afraid every time we try something new. People are afraid of change, but change is a circle of life. But it really is about recognizing what's the worst thing that can happen. So talk to me about your fear. What are you afraid of when you say living up to your own expectations? Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
That's really it. It's just this pressure that I put on myself. I have been doing photography off and on for the past few years, and my work is good, but I want it to be better. And so just, and I understand that nobody starts, at the top, and we have to, work at being the best. But just the pressure that I put on myself, whether it's with this or just, that's just something I got to work through in therapy.
How do you make it better? How do you make your work better?
Practicing. And yeah, and I definitely think that is one of the steps that I need to take here, and take a couple steps back, and really get to the point where I feel 100% comfortable with my camera, with my gear. And that's something that's definitely kind of just holding me back.
How often are you using your camera and your gear right now, on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis? How about I couldn't even tell you when I picked up my camera last, to tell you. I do have a shoot coming up this Sunday. I do. So
are you only shooting when you have a shoot?
That's the problem. Yeah, I have a studio. I should be shooting. I should have a goal of, maybe doing one shoot a week, or, whatever it is. That doesn't necessarily, it's not about the money, but just about the practice. So
this is another homework assignment for you. I think we're getting a long list here of all y'all's homework assignments, but I want you to map out and put on your calendar, and then put it in your phone, or however you keep your appointments or your schedule, when you will actively shoot. Even if you're shooting a bowl of fruit, right? People have made careers out of shooting fruit. So even if you're shooting a bowl of fruit, or you grab a child, a niece, a nephew, one of your kids, or someone, shoot. Photographers photograph. So you want to shoot. But if you aren't doing it organically, if it's just not, I'm going to go down into the studio and shoot today, then make an appointment. And be ruthless about your time as it relates to shooting. Like, don't let something else pop up. Like, I said I was going to shoot, but then the girls wanted to go out for mimosas, or the husband wanted to go to the movies. But I had in my calendar here that I was going to shoot. If you write in shoot, you shoot. And you start spending more time, because the only way you're going to get around that fear is when you're comfortable. We are afraid of things that we don't know. So you're afraid you're going to fear because you don't feel comfortable with the equipment. So get personal, intimate with that equipment, girl. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to shoot more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to put it in your calendar, and you're going to hold yourself accountable. You're going to keep that appointment with yourself.
Okay.
You get to decide how often in a week you want to shoot. But, Michael Jordan did not become a Michael Jordan by shooting, by saying, I don't know when the last time is that I picked up that ball.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Not at the moment. No.
Okay. Very good. Who else? What's scaring y'all?
So for me, it's thinking about a mindset shift, which is what I think this needs, what I need right now. And because I want to get booted. I don't think I've ever said that. I want to be booted off the couch. I am determined. And I know we're saying it jokingly, but that's really what I want. I really want to be booted off the couch, off the pink couch. So I want to get this mindset. I want to do whatever I have to do to get my mindset in where it needs to be, so that I can really work through this with passion. And I want to jump out of bed excited to work on this, excited to research these organizations, these companies. So for me, mindset is coming up. And then also, Cheryl, you mentioned something earlier that's standing out for me, and it's asking for help. And I think that's something that I'd like to learn how to do better.
Those are great points, and your mindset is everything. It is a foundation for you actually achieving what you believe you can achieve. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. And I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said that, like something to that extent, that you'll accomplish what you think you will, or what you won't. I don't know what he said, but
I
you
think
get my
it's Henry
point.
Ford.
Was it Henry Ford?
It was Henry
Okay,
Ford,
thank
and
you.
he said,
What did Henry say?
he said, whether you think you will or you won't.
You're right.
Well, yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay, Henry, I'm sorry. I've been giving that over to Abe. Sorry. So mindset is everything. And how do you work yourself into a positive frame of mind?
For me, it's replacing a negative thought with a positive thought. That helps. I love what you said to Chris about looking at people who are doing the work that she wants to do. So I can do that also, like really consider who's doing what I want to do, and succeeding at it, and are happy at it and enjoying it. So those are ways for me to shift into a more positive mindset.
And those are great. Give me an example of when you shifted from a negative mindset to a positive one. What's that conversation look like in your head, or how does that work for you?
So let's say if I'm doing a presentation and I'm unsure of myself, and I think that maybe my ideas are foolish, or that maybe if I think that someone else has had the same idea, I've shifted into a different idea by thinking about, there's a corner not too far from my house that has a Wendy's, a McDonald's, and a Burger King. And they're all selling the same thing successfully. And so if I might be doing something similar to what someone's doing, but I don't do it the same way.
Love that. That's beautiful, right? In the simplicity of it, because yeah, they're all selling burgers. They just have put their own twist or their own spin on it. Mm-hmm. So that's an excellent example of how you come up with, and all four of you need to think about this, how you come up with your unique selling proposition, right? What's unique about you that is going to make you stand out head and shoulders from everybody else as you start to put your stamp on these industries. So I love that you're thinking about the affirmations. I don't know if you look in the mirror every day and you repeat the affirmations to yourself. I don't know if you have Post-it notes stuck up on your bathroom mirror like I do. Well, it's not just my bathroom. I got Post-it notes stuck everywhere. And then for a minute, I got really crazy and I got those great big, huge, like wall size Post-it notes, and I started putting those up, and my husband was like, okay, we're getting a little carried away here. So repeating affirmations to yourselves, you all, really does work. And I even now still have some self-doubt that every once in a while tries to like creep into my head. And I've got two people in my mind that sit up here on my head, right? I don't know if you all remember a show that used to be, it was called Night Court. And it was, you remember Night Court? Lynn's laughing. Yeah. So Night Court had a bailiff who was a big sturdy woman called Roz. Marsha Warfield is the actress, and Roz would stand like this, and you didn't get into that night court unless Roz gave you permission to come in there, right? Because that was her job. So Roz is in my head like a blocker for me. So she's over here and she's blocking any negative thoughts that get through, right? And so Roz, if I think, oh my God, I don't have enough experience doing this, they're not going to retain me. Roz is like, get out of here with that. That's not getting up in here. I'm like, okay, Roz, cool. But sometimes those thoughts are really deep and embedded. So then I got on the other side, in case somebody the thought gets past Roz, I got Medea over here with a gun. Ask me again, or tell me again why you think you can't do this, because I'm gonna have to shoot you. That's Medea in my head. So I keep those negative thoughts out, because then what that does is it makes me laugh and it breaks the link to that negative thought. So if you can identify ways to break the link to what that negative thought is, and then, as you say, Tiffany, reshape it into something positive. I can do this. Other people have done it. I can do this. And if you want to click your heels together 3 times, you can do that too. It worked for Dorothy. It could work for you. Alex, we started with you. We're going to end with you. Tell me what is making you afraid of this process right now. And please know that we've all been in your shoes before, all of us. And you will get to a point where you will have your first full-time job, your career job. And guess what? You don't ever have to go back to your first job ever getting it again. You only have to do the first time once. But what scares you about it right now? Because that's not helping you.
I think a lot of what you said already kind of helped me. But my biggest thing would be I'm just like afraid of rejection or not having enough experience in the field that I'm trying to get into. And just, getting those either like not responding to my application or responding with a, yeah, sorry, we considered your application, but then we went with someone else, and kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, I remember those rejection letters in the old days, the good old days. They used to mail them to us, and sometimes I go to my mailbox and that's all that was in there, or like a stack of rejection letters. And Alex, I didn't turn out too bad, right? So the rejection is a part of the process. And what I want you to understand is they're not rejecting you. They have found someone else who fits that role for them right now, but it's not a rejection of you. And you can think about it, make a game out of it. How many rejections can you get? Right? Like, oh, another rejection. I got a rejection. Because our brains don't recognize whether something is good or bad. We tell it whether we think it's good or bad. We overlay that thought onto it. So if we make a game out of it instead, like, oh, I got another rejection, that means I'm getting that much closer to the right job. Mm-hmm. So every rejection I go down, I'm getting that much closer to the right job. And there's the right one out there for me. But that rejection stuff is real. It is real. But Alex, fear is normal. Fear of rejection is normal. Know that it's normal, but you will get it. Eventually, we all get hired. Okay. And then you start looking for the next role. And then you become the rising star, the hopeful, the career 2.0. Like, there are all kinds of things you have to look forward to. Everybody knows their homework assignment. You got it? All right. Because when we come back, we're going to start off by sharing your pink elephant goal. So if we haven't absolutely mapped out what your pink elephant goal is, send me, write out what you think your pink elephant goal is, send it to me. Everybody do this. Send it to me so that I can prepare for the questions and your homework based on that. Because some of you still had a few details to figure out for your homework assignment. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Clear as mud, clear as water?
Clear as water.
Clear as water. Okay. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful week. We're going to see you not next week, but week after next on Live from the Pink Couch, Season 3. Thanks, everybody. Check out the progression of all of our participants at Cheryl's channel of Fabulosity on YouTube, or learn more about the coaching programs and services we offer at IamCherylGrace.com. This has been a Powerful Penny LLC Pink Elephant production.